What's going on, everybody? What's going on? It is Wednesday, September 11th, 2024, and we are back with another stream here on the Torian Rain Reloaded channel. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button, hit the subscribe button if you are new to the channel. And if you are new to the channel, I'm glad that you are here. Hit the bell twice to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live. Or you can join the Discord just in case the notification does not go out to you. And also today, for the first time in a long time, I'm actually multi-streaming between YouTube and Instagram. It's been a long time since I've gone live over on Instagram, but if you are on Instagram, shout out to everybody that is over there. I see some people that are currently in the chat right now over on Instagram as we speak. Shout out to you. I'm gonna try to go back and forth between the chats to see what the temperature is like over there. But I'm glad that everybody is here. Shout out to everybody who's in the chat right now on both platforms, all the mods, all the members, all of that good stuff. I'm glad that you all are here. But let me go ahead and acknowledge the people who are here so far in the chat here over on YouTube. We got Firebat, Reparations Nation, the Mama Wanna God, Brooklyn Queen, Crew Reality, Denise Scales, Derry B, RBJ, Sybil, Cynthia, one of many ancestral incarnations, E Vicious, Savion Draco Zero, Sovereign Black, Lady Messenger, Tina Thomas, DSM Sinister, Don P. Ben Yehuda, Derek Parker, Chillmonger, Troy Scott, the My Voice channel, Cosmo Fury, and Shelton, LDBC or nothing. And also over on Instagram, I'll shout y'all out too. We got Messy Mikey, Sunny Piston, Axe for Naj, Cool Colas, Kenny T, PJP Less, 2, Retro Gemini, and PN Beauty. I'm glad that y'all are over there as well. So today is going to be a more serious topic. If y'all was in the live yesterday, we had a little bit fun with that particular topic yesterday, but I told y'all today was going to be a more serious topic because today I'm finally going to speak about what happened at the Apalachee High School massacre. Let's just call it what it is, because to merely just chalk it up to a shooting is to lower it, because people actually did lose their lives. 4 people to be exact, 2 students and 2 faculty members at the hands of this 14-year-old named Colt Gray. Now, there has been a lot, and I do mean a lot of information that has come out about this particular incident since it took place last week. And I wanted to wait until a few days later to see if there was any more information. And let me tell y'all something right now. A lot has come out about this. As a matter of fact, I have 17 tabs open on my other screen related to this story, between articles and screenshots. So we gonna be here for a little bit. Now, the one thing I don't like about Instagram when you go live over there, as far as how the format I'm doing it, is it only allows you to be live over there for an hour, and then after that it cuts off. So if you are on Instagram watching and it cuts off, like say once we get to the hour mark, then try to find your way over to the YouTube channel to hear the rest. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, with all of the stuff that I have, I doubt the stream is going to be done in an hour, and I don't want to rush it. So I'm just giving y'all a heads up right now. But shout out to everybody that's in here so far. But without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead now and share my screen, and we can just go ahead and get right into the stories, I should say, because I was going to say the story, but there's plenty of stories to go around when it comes to this situation right here. So I wanted to start off with this article coming from the BBC. And it's going to be really talking about, this one's talking about the victims more so than anything. And forgive me if the order of the articles are kind of out of order. I tried to put them in a type of order, but the thing is, some articles came out before others, but then they threw updates, so they kind of threw the date off. But we going to go through as much as we possibly can when it comes to this story. So again, this one is talking about the victims of the massacre. I'll call it that. So it says, a very sweet boy and a talented dancer among Georgia dead. It says 4 people have been killed and 9 others injured in a shooting at Apalachee High School in the city of Winder, Georgia. Officials have identified the deceased as students Mason Schermerhorn, and I want you to keep that kid's name implanted in your mind for a reason, because something this local news affiliate did that pissed a lot of people off. And some of y'all understand what I'm talking about already if y'all been following the story. and Christian Angulo, and teachers Christina Iremi and Richard Aspinwall. The 14-year-old suspect was arrested and will be prosecuted as an adult. Here's what we know about the victims of the attack. And they start off with Mason Schermerhorn. Mason Schermerhorn was one of the two 14-year-olds who were killed. In an interview with the Washington Post, his 17-year-old sister Alana remembered him as a very energetic and kind. She said he was sympathetic for people. He loved to play video games with her, and their little brother Gavin liked Super Mario Party on Nintendo Switch. He also covered his bed in stuffed animals and collected rubber ducks. I wasn't expecting him to be one of the people killed, Alana told the newspaper. I'm just numb. Friends of the child's mother told the New York Times that he had recently started at Apalachee. He was described as lighthearted and enjoyed reading and visiting Walt Disney World. Mason had an upbeat attitude about everything, Doug Kilborn told the newspaper. Another friend, Louis Briscoe, described the moment he heard of the boy's death from his mother, commenting, "Nobody should have to go through this type of pain." Before he was killed, Mason had texted his mother during the shooting to say that he was safe and sheltering inside a restroom, a chaplain who works with his mother told Fox News. Now, imagine that's the last message that you send to your mother, that you're doing okay and that you're fine. And then hours later, you find out that your son was one of the people that died. After the last thing you told your mother was, "I'm fine and I'm okay and I'm safe." That would ruin and shatter anybody hearing that or finding that out. Christian Angulo, now this is the other student that was killed. Lizette Angulo identified herself as the elder sister of the shooting's other 14-year-old victim, Christian. In a GoFundMe page aimed at raising money for the funeral, she said her brother was a very good kid and very sweet and so caring. She went on to say that the boy was loved by many, describing her heartbreak at her loss. Speaking to the Washington Post, his father, Ismail Angulo, said he nicknamed his son, and forgive me, I cannot pronounce this word, so I'm not even going to attempt it. But it says that it is Spanish for little bat. He told the newspaper that his son loved to visit relatives in Mexico and play school. "What can I say?" Mr. Angulo said of his son's death. "It's difficult. Schoolmates remember Christian as funny and with a chill attitude," Fox 5 Atlanta reported. One friend who said the two had been close since middle school said he was in denial after hearing about the deadly shooting. Christina Iremi, who was one of the faculty members, was one of the two teachers killed in the shooting. The 53-year-old is named in the Apalachee High School website as a math teacher. On the day of the shooting, she reportedly was celebrating her belated birthday with her students and had bought in desserts and treats for the classroom. Students described her as patient and caring. Miss Iremi was born in Romania and had come to the U.S. more than 2 decades ago. A parish priest at a local Romanian Orthodox church told the Atlanta Journal-Constitution newspaper. Nicolay Klimpis said she was awesome, someone you can count on, and was a talented dancer who taught traditional Romanian dance to children. She definitely had a gift to work with young people. In a separate interview with CNN, Mr. Klimpis said his parish is grieving her death. "We are frustrated that she faced the evil on the front lines and basically gave her life being there, facing the wrath of a person that for I don't know what reason did this thing. It is unfair how things evolved and how it happened, and we are very sorry for the way we have to say goodbye." One of her students told BBC's U.S. partner CBS News that she was a real nice teacher who liked to tell corny jokes and always made him feel confident. "She never made me feel dumb," Isaac Sanguma said. "You could get a question wrong on the board, and she's not going to make you feel dumb. She will make you feel welcome." A GoFundMe launched to support her family says Ms. Iremi dedicated her life to shaping the minds and hearts of students and the community. And the last person they're talking about is Richard Aspinwall, who was another teacher at the school. A second math teacher, 39-year-old Richard Ricky Aspinwall, was also killed. He was also the defensive coordinator for the school's American football team. The head coach praised him as a great dad, man, and great father. "He loved his 2 girls and he loved his wife," said Coach Mike Hancock. "He did happen to love the game of football and he was well respected around this area." His cousin Katie Seagraves took to social media to remember Mr. Aspinwall, writing that he was a great father and loved his job so much. "I'm so mad and sad that he was taken away for no reason and his sweet girls and wife no longer have him. My heart breaks so bad, this one hurts." He was also received tributes from his sporting peers. Nearby Mountain View High School identified Mr. Aspinwall as his former teacher and coach, saying his thoughts and prayers were with his family. Brandon Gill, the football coach of nearby Beaufort High School, wrote on social media that Mr. Aspinwall was a hell of a human being who would do anything for anyone. He was an amazing husband, father, teacher, and coach. A football game scheduled for this weekend had been postponed in the wake of the shooting. So now, as you can see right here, they pulled up a chart, mass shootings in the U.S., and they dated back to 2014, which is 10 years ago. The highest one that they have is in 2021 at nearly 700. Now, you got to ask yourself one question: how did this number be so high, considering in 2021 stuff was still kind of under a lockdown, so to speak? So it wasn't like there was a huge influx of people at schools, but it does say mass shooting, so it doesn't specify where exactly that they could have occurred at. But as you can see, in the year 2020, they have been above 600 ever since up until now, but it's at 385. And the scary part about it is, it's still some year left in 2024. That's the craziest part. As well as the 4 people who were killed, 8 students and a teacher were wounded. The teacher was identified by his daughter as David Phoenix. He has a role in curriculum assistance, according to the school's website. His daughter said he underwent surgery after being shot in the hip and that she felt so lucky he had survived. Little has been revealed about the 8 children who were injured. Police say all of those who were hurt in the attack are expected to recover. So that's the article right there. That's just basically highlighting the victims. So I just wanted to start off with that first, because everything that happens or everything that I mentioned after this is really going to be focusing on Colt Gray, his father, his mother, and even other family members that he has. Like, it's going to get dark from here. So I just wanted to start off with this one first. And shout out to everybody that is in the chat right now. I think William just ended the chat. Dark Titan, Dewani, Nita the Diva just came in here as well. And shout out to everybody that's also over on Instagram as well. So now let's move on to the next article. So this one's coming from CBS News. It says Georgia high school shooting suspect was previously interviewed after FBI received reports of online threats. So this kid has been in the not in the spotlight, but he has, well, how can I put it? The FBI knew about him. Let's see what they're talking about. New details are emerging about the 14-year-old student accused of killing 4 people and wounding 9 others in Wednesday's shooting at Apalachee High School in northern Georgia, including what investigators learned when they interviewed the suspect last year. As new information comes out about the suspect, Colt Gray, officials continue to investigate how the teen obtained the gun used in the attack and what led up to the latest school shooting in the U.S. The suspect has been charged with 4 counts of felony murder, and District Attorney Brad Smith, whose district includes the Barrow County High School, said Friday that more charges are expected to be filed. The Georgia Bureau of Investigation announced Thursday evening that the suspect's father, 54-year-old Colin Gray, was arrested on murder charges in connection with the shooting. He was taken into custody on 2 counts of second-degree murder, 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. These charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son Colt to possess a weapon, GBI Director Chris Hosey said in a news conference Thursday night. CBS News learned that police and federal agents are investigating if the weapon used in the shooting was purchased by the teen's father as a gift for his son in 2023, according to 4 federal law enforcement sources close to the investigation. A search of the suspect's home following the shooting also showed that the suspect had an interest in previous school shootings, CBS News has learned. The teen appeared in court Friday morning for a brief hearing where Judge Curry Mingledorf II advised him of his rights and told him that the maximum penalty for the 4 counts of felony murder he's facing is life in prison without parole or life in prison with the possibility of parole. The judge initially told the teen he was also possibly facing the death penalty, but then said it wasn't because he's under 18 years old. The teen spoke very little during the hearing, responding to questions by saying, "Yes, sir." More than a year ago, tips about online posts threatening a school shooting led Georgia police to interview a 13-year-old boy, but investigators didn't have enough evidence for an arrest. On Wednesday, that same boy opened fire at his high school in North Georgia. The suspect has been charged as an adult in the deaths of Apalachee High School students Mason Shermhorn and Christian Angulo, both 14, and instructors Richard Aspinwall and Christina Iremi. At least 9 other people, 8 students, and 1 teacher at the school in Winder, about an hour's drive northeast of Atlanta, were taken to hospitals with injuries. At least 7 of those patients were treated and released by late Thursday, while at least 1 other remained hospitalized in stable condition, hospital officials said. The suspect is currently being held at the Gainesville Regional Youth Detention Center. Georgia Department of Juvenile Justice spokesperson Glenn Allen told CBS News on Thursday. Armed with an assault-style rifle, the teen turned the gun on students in a hallway at the school when classmates refused to open the door for him to return to his algebra classroom. Classmate Leela Sayarath said. The teen earlier left the second period algebra classroom, and Sayarath figured the quiet student who recently transferred was skipping school again, but he returned later and wanted back in the classroom. Some student went to open the locked door, but instead backed away. I'm guessing they saw something, but for some reason they didn't open the door. When she looked at him through a window in the door, she saw the student turn and heard a barrage of gunshots. It was about 10 or 15 of them at once, back to back. The mass students ducked onto the floor and sporadically crawled around looking for a safe corner to hide. 2 school resource officers encountered the shooter within minutes after a report of shots fired went out. The teen immediately surrendered and was taken into custody. According to Barrow County Sheriff Judd Smith, law enforcement was notified of the threat thanks to a new security system that had been installed about a week earlier. Smith noted that were 3 school resource officers on campus at the time of the shooting. Georgia law prohibits minors from possessing handguns, but there is no minimum age to possess a rifle or a shotgun in Georgia. Now, isn't that backwards? Now, let me read that again. It says Georgia law prohibits minors from possessing handguns, but there is no minimum age to possess a rifle or a shotgun. So what? That makes no sense. That makes absolutely no sense. So you said, oh, you know what? You don't have to hold this little itty bitty gun. Let's just put the big gun in your hands. And, because, that's legal. That is so backwards. I don't know how. I'm confused by that one. That law makes no sense at all. None. The teen had been interviewed after the FBI received anonymous tips in May 2023 about online threats to commit an unspecified school shooting, the agency said in a statement. FBI Atlanta said on social media Wednesday night that the FBI National Threat Operations Center found that the post came from Georgia, and the FBI's Atlanta field office referred the information to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office, which is adjacent to Barrow County. The sheriff's office interviewed the then 13-year-old and his father, who said there were hunting guns in the house, but the teen did not have unsupervised access to them. The teen also denied making any online threats. According to report from the sheriff's office released Thursday, the threats were made using an account on the online chatting app Discord. The profile name for the account was written in Russian, which translated to the last name of the shooter in the deadly 2012 attack at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut. The teen told investigators he deleted the Discord account because it kept getting hacked, according to the sheriff's reports. Local police records obtained by CBS News described him as reserved and calm during the interview with Jackson County Sheriff's deputies. Those records also indicate Gray's parents were going through a messy divorce at the time, with his mother taking custody of 2 other children in the divorce while the suspect stayed with his father. Jackson County Sheriff Janice Mangum, whose deputies questioned the suspect in 2023, told CBS News Thursday that it's sad that we have this kind of evil in our society. In the incident report, a deputy reported that the teen assured me he never made any threats to shoot up any school. Mangum doesn't believe that 2023 interview was a missed opportunity. No, I think he, as in the deputies, did all that he could with what he had at the time. The sheriff's office interview also revealed that the teen and his father had been evicted from their home in early 2023. The father also told investigators that the teen had been having problems at middle school, but that things had gotten better when he went to a different middle school. The father told investigators he'd gone to the new school many times to keep track of his son and described his conversations with school officials. He doesn't really think straight. Can we just, just kind of put your arms around him, get him through the 7th grade? I just want to make sure he's good. Like, I mean, we're all up there talk all the time talking to the school. The father also told the investigators his son was getting picked on at school. The sheriff's office alerted local schools for continued monitoring of the teen, but there was no probable cause for arrest or additional action. Hosey said the State Division of Family and Children's Services also had previous contact with the teen and will investigate whether that has any connection with the shooting. Local news outlets reported that law enforcement on Wednesday searched the teen's family home in Bethlehem, Georgia, east of the high school. All the students that had to watch their students and fellow classmates die, the ones that had to walk out of the school limping, that looked traumatized. That's the consequence of action of not taking control. Authorities were still looking into how the teen obtained the gun using the shooting and got into the school with about 1,900 students in Barrow County, a rapidly suburbanizing area on the edge of Metro Atlanta's ever-expanding sprawl. It was the latest among dozens of schools shootings across the U.S. in recent years, including especially deadly ones in Newtown, Connecticut, Parkland, Florida, and Uvalde, Texas. The classroom killings have set off fervent debates about gun control and the frayed nerves of parents whose children are growing up accustomed to active shooter drills in classrooms, but they have done little to move the needle on national gun laws. So here's a breakdown right here. It's a shooting at U.S. schools. So in 2014, there were 47 reported. In 2015, there were 41. In 2016, there was 50. 2017, 60. Now it's a spike in 2018, 119. Then in 2019, 124. Then it dropped down to 2020 because, well, clearly, and that's crazy considering 2020 had 116, considering what we was going through in 2020. But then when we get to 2021, that's where their huge jump happened. Now it's crazy because that they have all these reports of these US-based school shootings, but you would never know it was this many because all of these don't get reported. It's just that they're documented. That's crazy when you think about that. If that was the case, this would literally be all that you would see in the news based on these numbers. 2022, 308. 2023, 349. And now in 2024, currently 218. Before Wednesday, there have been 29 mass killings in the U.S. so far this year. According to a database maintained by the Associated Press and USA Today in partnership with Northeastern University, at least 127 people have died in those killings, which are defined as incidents in which 4 or more people die within a 24-hour period, not including the killer, the same definition used by the FBI. On Wednesday evening, hundreds gathered in Jug Tavern Park in downtown Winder for a vigil. Volunteers handed out candles and also water, pizza, and tissues. Some knelt as a Methodist minister led the crowd in prayer after a Barrow County commissioner read a Jewish prayer of mourning. Christopher Vasquez, age 15, said he attended the vigil because he needed to feel grounded and be in a safe place. He was in a band practice when the lockdown order was issued. He said it felt like a regular drill as students lined up in the band closet. Once we heard banging at the door and SWAT came to take us out, that's when I knew it was serious. I just started shaking and crying. He finally settled down. Once he was at the football stadium, I just was praying that everyone I love was safe. Man, this is, and like I told you, we still got a whole lot more that we got to go over. But shout out again to everybody that's over here on YouTube right now. Shout out to everybody that's still over on Instagram as well. I see y'all. I'm glad that y'all are both in attendance on both platforms. But like I told you, this story gets worse with every article. That's why I started off with the victims first. So now let's move on to the next article. Hold on, y'all. All right, so now we are on USA Today, and this is an article saying Colt Gray, age 14, identified as suspect in the Apalachee High School shooting and what we know. A 14-year-old is accused of carrying out the deadliest school shooting this year, killing 4 people and injuring 9 others at a high school in Georgia. Police say the suspected shooter, Colt Gray, opened fire Wednesday morning at Apalachee High School in Winder, a rural town about an hour northeast of Atlanta. Law enforcement arrived within minutes and confronted the teen, who surrendered and was soon taken into custody, officials said, adding he would be charged with murder and prosecuted as an adult. And I'm going to kind of skim through it because it's kind of a rehashing of previous articles. I just want to make sure I find some new things that's put in here. That's just the thing about these articles, is that they like to repeat themselves from other sources. So I'm trying to find some new additional stuff. It says the teen was previously on the radar of law enforcement after he was tied to several online threats reported anonymously to the FBI last year. In May 2023, the FBI received several anonymous tips from as far as California and Australia that a Discord user had threatened to shoot up a school, according to investigative reports obtained by USA Today. The threats, which also contained images of guns, were forwarded to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. Now, that's crazy. This kid is in Georgia, but they said that they heard about this kid all the way in California and as far as Australia. So you're talking about 3 hours behind us if you're talking about in the States, and then you're talking about hours ahead of us if you're talking about across the pond in the Eastern Hemisphere. An email associated with the suspect's Discord account was owned by Colt Gray, according to the FBI analysis. The evidence also indicated that the account may have been accessed in other Georgia cities, as well as in Virginia and New York. An investigator with the sheriff's office noted that the Discord user's profile name was written in Russian and that the letters translated to Lanza, which law enforcement said was a reference to Adam Lanza, the man who killed 26 people at Sandy Hook Elementary School in Newtown, Connecticut in 2012. In an interview with investigators, Gray said he had deleted his Discord account and denied posting the threats. As if you weren't going to leave a digital paper trail and they weren't going to find out that you did it. Colt expressed the concern that someone is accusing him of threatening to shoot up a school, stating that he would never do such a thing, even in a joking manner. The report said one investigator described Gray, who was 13 at the time, as calm and reserved. Investigators interviewed Gray's father, who said that he had hunting rifles in the house, but that his son did not have unfettered access to them. But he managed to find this one that was used in the shooting. The father also said neither he nor his son speaks Russian, and he told investigators the email address associated with the Discord account was unfamiliar to him and his son. At this time, due to the inconsistent nature of the information received by the FBI, the allegation that Colt or his father is the user behind the Discord account that made the threat cannot be substantiated. This case will be exceptionally cleared. The sheriff's office notified the school where Gray was a student. However, the school year had already ended by the time they interviewed Gray and his father. Jackson County Sheriff Janice Mangum said in an interview with USA Today that she's read through the reports of the investigation and said there was nothing else the investigators could have done at the time. This is during an interview with the investigators in May 2023. Gray's father, Colin, said his 13-year-old had some problems at a previous middle school he had attended. I'm going to kind of skim through this because that's a rehashing of a previous article. This is law enforcement officials on Wednesday declined to say whether they had determined what motivated the shooting and emphasized that the investigation is still in its early stages. This is a very fluid investigation. Barrow County Sheriff Judd Smith said in a news conference outside the school, "What you see behind us is an evil thing." Smith, however, told reporters that he was not aware of any connection between the suspected shooter and the victims. Along with the online threats posted last year, officials said they are looking into whether the teen had any associates who were involved in the shooting, as well as any interactions involving Gray, his family, and child services. It says Gray was brought to the Regional Youth Detention Center in Gainesville overnight. Glenn Allen, a spokesperson for the Georgia Department of Juvenile Justice, told USA Today Gray will appear in front of a judge virtually at 8:30 a.m. on Friday, and I believe that was last Friday. It had to be because it's Wednesday. It was not immediately clear if Gray is being represented by an attorney. School across Barrow County has canceled classes for the rest of the week as investigators determine whether there are any active threats to schools in the area and across the state of Georgia. And also, if I have any subscribers in here who are from Georgia, please let me know what the temperature is like that what it's like down there in Georgia right now. And also, if you're watching on Instagram, if you are in Georgia, let me know if there's been any kind of what you've been hearing down there as well. And again, shout out to everybody that's in the chat. Now, this article right here is going to be focusing on the dad. Now, there was some people that was upset because they arrested the dad and charged him. I'm not. If y'all remember Ethan Crumbley and what he did, that was a historical thing because that was the first time ever where you had something like that happen and both parents were held accountable for their son's actions. That was the first time that ever happened. And I remember saying back then when that happened, I said, the ones who getting ideas to do what he did, y'all better think again because they're going to come after your parents too. And that's exactly what happened in this case. So it says dad of alleged Georgia, and I hate these ads, school shooter Colt Gray arrested, hit with murder and manslaughter charges. So as you can see, the dad got hit with these charges as well. Not to the same extent as his son, but because of his connection and what they discovered, they said, we got to charge him. The father of the alleged teen gunman who killed 4 people in a mass shooting at Apalachee High School in northern Georgia has been arrested, law enforcement officials announced Thursday night. Colin Gray, age 54, was charged with 4 counts of manslaughter, 2 counts of second-degree murder, and 8 counts of cruelty to children. The charges came after it was revealed that Colin Gray purchased the AR-15 style rifle Colt allegedly used in the massacre as a Christmas gift last December. The charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son Colt to possess a weapon, GBI Director Chris Hosey told reporters at a press conference without providing any additional details. Colt received the deadly present from his father just 7 months after authorities visited the pair when the FBI received tips about online school shooting threats, according to the federal agency. This is where I think for a fact they probably knew they could get him. Like, look at what I just highlighted. It says that he gave his son this gun as a gift for Christmas, as a Christmas gift. 7 months after they had to make a visit to their home when it was discovered that Colt Gray was making online threats using Discord to commit what he actually go out and commit what he actually did last week. The disturbing online post reviewed by law enforcement included photos of guns. Colin Gray told police at the time he had hunting guns in the house, but Colt did not have unsupervised access to them, according to authorities. The teen also denied making the threats. Colt Gray allegedly gunned down 2 fellow students and 2 teachers when he opened fire at the school Wednesday morning. Barrow County Sheriff Judd Smith said Thursday night he was happy to reveal that all of those injured will be making a full recovery. Let me see if there's anything else. It says Colt, who surrendered to school resource officers immediately, was initially charged with murder on Wednesday, but as of Thursday is now facing 4 total counts of felony murder. Look at what they look at what they put right here. Look at this. The disturbed teenager came from a broken home. And y'all gonna see that quite a bit as we go forward, how they keep trying to throw that in there to try to make people garner some kind of sympathy. You ain't getting none of from me over here. Where he and his sister were regularly abused by their troubled mother and visited frequently by police and child services, a former neighbor and landlord told the Post Thursday. Colt's mother, 43-year-old Marcy Gray, has a lengthy rap sheet spanning 17 years in 4 Georgia counties, including arrests for drug possession, driving under the influence, and domestic violence. Larry, not our elder, lend me your antennas. Weren't you the same one that's always barking up the tree talking about fatherlessness or fatherless homes? How come it seems like every time there's something like this going on, it's coming from a 2-parent household? I mean, you had Ethan Crumbley, you had Ethan Couch, now you got this guy. You also had Peyton Gendron, you also had Ryan Palmer. All of them came from 2-parent households, and they still went out and committed this heavy level of violence. Just saying. Lauren Vickers, who lived next door to the Grays in Jefferson, Georgia, said the children were always wearing dirty clothes and sometimes were hungry. It was constant abuse, she said. Colt's aunt, Annie Brown, told the Washington Post that her nephew was struggling with mental health issues and had been begging for help from everybody around him before he shot up the school. So as you can see, they're running interference to try to make people feel bad for him. They're not pulling at my heartstrings, I'm just saying. Because we know that if it was a black kid that roles were reversed, they wouldn't be doing all of this. And shout out again to everybody in the chat, in both chats, on Instagram and on YouTube. Let's move forward to the next article. Speaking of his troubled past, this is what this article is going to be about. It says, new disturbing details revealed about Colt Gray's quote-unquote troubled life. 14-year-old Colt Gray troubled life includes him once allegedly having a Discord screen name referencing the Sandy Hook Elementary killer Adam Lanza. I'm trying to figure out how him having the Discord username as Adam Lanza contributes to his troubled life. I don't know. Notice they didn't say that that's who he drew inspiration from. That's literally what it is, not having no troubled life. Exactly, Chillmonger. He says trouble past. This is humanizing him. When I look at Colt Gray, I don't see no human, because no human would do that. We're going to get to that fundraiser. That's part of the screenshots. As a matter of fact, after I go through this article, the next few things I'm going to go over is going to be a bunch of screenshots. The suspected gunman who killed 4 people at Apalachee High School on Wednesday will be charged with murder and tried as an adult for the shooting deaths of 2 teachers and 2 students. But this was not law enforcement's first interaction with Gray before he was a student at Apalachee High School. On May 22nd, 2023, members of the Jackson County Sheriff's Office went to the home of his father, Colin, with whom he lived, to investigate multiple tips from the FBI from a Discord user that the teenager allegedly threatened to shoot up a middle school the next day. In a police report obtained by Newsweek, Colin Gray told officials that his family was evicted from their prior address in Jefferson. He and his wife were divorced, and she took the 2 younger kids while he and Colt moved together. Colin Gray stated son had problems at West Jackson Middle School in Hodgson, Georgia, and was going to Jefferson, about 17 minutes away, where things got better. Just kind of skimming through again because they're rehashing stuff. Okay, I'm just skimming on through. So this is just like a rehash type of article. It's not really anything new that the other one just said. Now, this next thing I'm going to show y'all, this is where, let me tell you something. This is where the Black collective came together and completely scolded this local news affiliate. So I'm not sure if y'all saw this or not, but look at this right here. This is a screenshot coming from the WSBTV X account. That is their official account. They said a 14-year-old suspect, Colt Gray, was arrested. But look who they put up a picture of. That's why I said make sure y'all put a pin in the first article when I talked about the victims. This was the little black boy that was killed. This is not Colt Gray. And they put that picture up there under this caption like it was nothing. It was so many people that were saying to the family they need to sue them out of existence. Like, how are you going to put up a picture of this boy? He was the victim. But they couldn't wait to put a picture out there. Now, mind you, this was put out there before anybody knew what Colt Gray looked like. We just knew when we heard the name, though, there was a PC kid, because let's be real here. How many black kids do you know named Colt? Let's be real here. How many? I don't know one. Not even in a movie or a television show. So I know if I ain't heard it in a movie or television show, I ain't hearing it in real life. And if they do have, and if it is one named Colt, it's probably a nickname. So they got dragged over the coals for that one, as they should have. And then after that happened, they wanted to put out this so-called apology that nobody fell for. They said in a tweet about the Apalachee High School shooting posted by WSBTV, the content and photo of one of the victims were unintentionally presented on X in a way that made it appear as if the victim was the shooter. You know, if you didn't have a picture of the suspect, which at the time nobody did, you could have simply put up a picture of the school as your thumbnail. Why would you put up a picture of one of the victims? And on top of that, the only black victim. Because the victims, demographic wise, are laid out as this: black, as in this boy; Hispanic, as in the other boy; a Romanian woman; and a white man. But you put up the picture of the black boy with that caption and thought people was going to let that slide. I could only imagine how pissed his family was when they saw that, if they saw that. They said the post was removed shortly after it went live and immediately after we were alerted to the situation. We deeply regret this error and sincerely apologize to the victim family and loved ones. As a professional, you should have known better. Now, I don't know who was in charge of putting that up, but if it was up to me, they would have been fired on the spot. Yes, the fundraiser, that's who it was. Oh, but don't worry, y'all. Don't worry, because the last thing I'm gonna show y'all with this, if y'all thought this was something, wait till you see the last thing I'm gonna show y'all at the end of this live. Because I see what they're trying to do. Now let's move on to the next screenshot. So we got this screenshot right here. This is, her name is Annie Brown. She is the aunt of Colt Gray. Look at what she posted up. They are charging my 14-year-old nephew as an adult for murder. Y'all ready to see Parliament's blood in Full Throttle? Nah, I wouldn't be either. So Annie Brown, I'm assuming Brown is her wedded name. That sounds like a threat to me. She sounds like she want to pull up. Yes, your savage nephew deserved to be charged as an adult. You thought that he shouldn't? Look at what he did. He took out 4 people. 2 of them were his age. And did it unapologetically. This is his aunt, y'all. Now I'm not sure where in this, probably, you know what? It's probably his mom's sister. It would have to be. Because if it wasn't, well, nah, not really. It could be his dad's sister. Yeah, it could be his dad's sister. Because of that last name. Her last name's not Gray. Either way, that's what she posted up. Xavier, it's funny you said that. We've seen what they do at Full Throttle. Your nephew literally did that. He went full throttle and took out 4 people and injured 9 others. So we see what you can do with Full Throttle. But she wasn't done, y'all. Oh no, Annie Brown wasn't done. She said, please, someone get me in touch with GBI. I've tried calling. I am not scared. I will not back down. I will not disrespect other parents and families that are dealing with this tragedy on the opposite end. They did not deserve this. I will not do anything but humbly support the families involved in this incident that did not ask to be participants. With that being said, I will not leave my nephew standing alone. When Uvalde happened, I told my own children that only hurt people hurt people. Oh, give me a break. I did everything I could to fight for my nephew and my niece and my other nephew. Y'all can go ahead and play the blame game all you want, but the families affected by my nephew's actions deserve all the attention now. You just tried to turn this on to you getting on here and becoming a drama queen. We saw what you just wrote in the previous post, and I believe that post came up before this one. Like Queen now said, the FBI needs to investigate. Yeah, I would look into this whole family. Don't stop at the dad and the mom. Look into the aunt too. As far as I'm concerned, with posts like these, especially that first one. So here we have, now this is his mom. This is Colt Gray's mother. Her name is Marcy Palamas. So yeah, this pretty much let me confirm that this is that the aunt that was just talking all that crap. That's her sister. So this is just a screenshot from, I'm guessing this is her LinkedIn. It just says, like, you know, running down what she does as a job. But that's Colt Gray's mother. So let's move on to the next one. You know what? Let me get this one last screenshot out the way. And I was wondering, should I do this as a separate video or throw it in the live? I said, you know what? I'm throwing it into the live. Look at this nonsense right here that came from none other than Diane Yap. Now, y'all know we have talked about Diane and her Yap over here plenty of times, but it's been a while since we last talked about it. But you know what? We're talking about it right now. Look at this nonsense. So Tariq wrote up on September 7th, name a white teen child school shooter who was shot and killed by the police. Just one. And in comes Diane to reply with this. Name a white teen child shooter who did anything to deserve being shot and killed by police.
What did you say, nigga?
Listen. Fuck up. Get out.
What kind of lopsided logic is this? And she thought she was hitting on something. Man, they destroyed her in the comments when she said that. And Diane, you literally told on yourself when you said that. I mean, this woman's told on herself plenty of times, but she's too dense to understand the error in her ways. You literally just said that if a white teen school shooter goes in there and does what he does, he does not deserve to be taken out. That's literally what Diane just said. And like I said, she is so idiotic, she probably doesn't even realize what she said, or maybe she does. I don't know. I wouldn't want to be in that head of hers. I truly wouldn't. But she said that. Yep. Y'all heard and y'all see it correctly. So that tells you right there that the next time that this happens, because unfortunately there's probably going to be a next time, that she is looking forward to the person being taken in, just like they did with Colt Gray, just like they did with Ethan Crumbley, just like they did with Peyton Gendron, just like they did with Ryan Palmer. All of these people who committed these massacres in recent history, and by recent, I'm talking about within the last 2 or 3 years, have all been taken in alive. I can probably count on maybe one hand how many were actually taken out by police, not by self-inflicted wounds. There's a difference between taking yourself out versus being taken out by them. So now that we got that out the way, let's move on to go back to the articles. Now, this one right here caught me off guard because I did not expect this when this first came my way. Look at this. Revealed. Georgia school shooter Colt Gray was quote unquote bullied for being in the academy. How many people heard about this? I promise you, they kept this under the radar. Now, it's either one or two things with this one. One, he's in the academy, or two, people assume that he was, but he's not. And they bullied him for it anyway. Because when I heard about this, I said, I see what they're doing. I see what they're doing. I'm not falling for it, but I see what they're doing. Let's look into this. Georgia school shooter Colt Gray was bullied by classmates who called him gay, his father told detectives in an interview last year. So I'm wondering if this is going in the aspect of the whole thing of him being bullied, because knowing the other articles, it just said he was being bullied. Now, when it comes to being bullied, usually there's a reason for the bullying. It's usually so minute because, you know, kids will be kids. But are they telling us that this was the reason why he was bullied? Colin Gray, age 54, made the claims when he was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff's Office after the FBI received a tip that his son had threatened a shooting at his middle school. It's very difficult for him to go to school and not get picked on. The father added, it went from one thing to another. I was trying to get him on the golf team. They were like, oh, look, Colt's gay. He's dating that guy. Just ridiculed him day after day after day. Gray is charged as an adult in the deaths of the 4 people. We already mentioned them, and 9 people also were hurt in the shooting. It says he and his father appeared in back-to-back hearings Friday morning with about 50 onlookers in the courtroom. The elder Gray is also charged in connection with the shooting, including the counts of involuntary manslaughter and second-degree murder. Colin Gray told police this week he purchased the weapon used in the killings as a Christmas present for his son. Let me tell y'all something. I don't know about y'all, but I find that PC will buy their kids a gift like that for any occasion. It doesn't even have to just be Christmas. It could be a just because gift. It can be Christmas. It can be Thanksgiving. It can be Halloween. It can be their birthday, especially their birthday. 4th of July, Memorial Day, Veterans Day, or just any day that's ending with the letter Y. The Post read, I'm committing a mass shooting and I'm waiting to, oh, this is new. Okay, so now they're talking about the Discord, but they're also now telling us what was written in that Discord, because they only said he wrote a threat in Discord, but they never stated what he wrote. But now they're about to get into it. So it says the Post read, I'm committing a mass shooting and I'm waiting a good 2 to 3 years. I can't kill myself yet because I'm not contributing anything to culture. I need to go out knowing I did. That's what he wrote in the Discord. That's what he wrote. The poster added, I'm ready, above a photograph of 2 guns. They had reportedly referenced the Sandy Hook shooting and expressed frustration with the acceptance of transgendered people. Colin added that he was trying to teach his son about weapons and get him interested in the outdoors in order to get him away from those video games. He showed the officer a picture of Colt with blood smeared on his face and said it was from when the teen shot his first deer, which the father described as the best day ever. Now, let's go back many years when you had that monster Jeffrey Dahmer out there dissecting roadkill. And you saw what that led to. See, it most likely started with whatever video games he was playing, and then now he has the real thing in his hand, and now he has a lust for it. And you want to know what's so funny, Don P? I'm glad you said that. Look what happened to Tamir Rice. He had an airsoft pistol, and they pulled up on him like they did a drive-by, and in less than 2 seconds, he was gone, right there in front of his sister. Meanwhile, and also keep this in mind, because Tamir Rice was 13, so a year younger than Colt Gray. Meanwhile, Colt Gray can walk up into a school with an AR style rifle and just start popping off like he's in Call of Duty. The father claimed he and his son talked about school shootings quite a bit, adding that you never really know, and I don't want anything to happen to him. Why is this a conversation you're having with your son? My thing is this: if you and your son are having this as a conversation, there's a problem. I don't know about you, but I don't talk to my dad about that. That's not even a topic of discussion unless it's something that happened in the news like this. But to just sit there and have a casual conversation about it like it's just a kickback session, that's wild. Colin reportedly assured officers that he would be mad as hell if he learned the allegations about his son making threats were true and that all the guns would go away. On Friday, the teen appeared in court in persons in shackles, dressed in a green t-shirt and gray sweatpants. He kept his head down with his hair covering his face, and spoke softly only to Judge Curry Mingledorf, replying, "Yes, sir," when asked to confirm his name. Meanwhile, his father cried as he appeared shortly after his son in the same courtroom, charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter, 2 of second-degree murder, and 8 of cruelty to children. Judge Mingledorf brought Gray back in to correct a statement he made, telling him, "I wanted to make it clear that that the penalty does not include death. It includes life without the possibility of parole or with the possibility of parole." It says a 2005 Supreme Court decision forbids the execution of offenders who were under the age of 18 when their crimes were committed. The teen denied threatening to carry out a school shooting when authorities interviewed him last year. Conflicting evidence on the post-origin left investigators unable to arrest anyone. Jackson County Sheriff Janice Mangum says she reviewed the report from May 2023 and found nothing that would justify bringing charges at the time. And that's pretty much it. So we learned some new stuff there. Like, I can see why now more than ever after reading that, why they went after their dad too, as they should have. Well, now it seems to me that we've talked about Colt Gray and his father and his mother and his whacked out aunt. But apparently there is some light at the end of the tunnel, because there is a family member amongst them, that clan, who does have some sense. And that is none other than Colt Gray's grandfather. Look at this. School shooting suspect's grandfather is quoted as saying, "I totally blame the father." Just like many of you in the chat have said and stated, that they totally blame the father, as they should. Finally, somebody in that family with some sanity. But let's see what else he had to say. The grandfather of the 14-year-old Georgia school shooting suspect blamed the teen's home life and father for creating an environment that led to last week's violence that left 2 teachers and 2 students dead. Charles Parliamus, speaking to the Atlanta Journal-Constitution Monday, said he largely blamed his grandson's father, Colin Gray, following Wednesday's deadly shooting at Apalachee High School. His grandson, Colt Gray, has been charged with 4 counts of felony murder. "Me personally, I totally blame the father," said Parliamus, whose daughter is Colt Gray's mother. He's just as well he just as well shot these people as far as I'm concerned, because I don't particularly think my grandson would have been the way he was except the environment that he lived in. Colin Gray was charged with 4 counts of involuntary manslaughter and 2 counts of second-degree murder and 8 counts of cruelty to children. These charges stem from Mr. Gray knowingly allowing his son Colt to possess a weapon. Warrants obtained Monday indicate Colin Gray was charged with 2 counts of second-degree murder relating to the death of students Christian Algalo, Mason Schermerhorn, both 14, as well as teachers Ricky Aspinwell and Christina Iremy. Parliament said he is not trying to absolve his grandson. I damn sure not sugarcoating anything. They both need to pay the full price. Parliament and his family lived in Fitzgerald and Ben Hill County for at least 4 decades. It's where Marcy Gray Colt's mother grew up. She has a criminal history dating back 17 years. So I think it's safe to say that this is a generational thing. Marcy Gray has faced prosecution in Barrow and Forsyth County, accused of domestic violence. Now, this is his mother, drug possession, property damage, and traffic violations. She has also faced civil fraud claims related to a vehicle purchase and was in jail in Ben Hill County as recently as April of this year, according to publicly available court filings. Marcy Gray was granted a $5,700 bond on April 12th in Ben Hill County, where she was charged with aggravated battery of a 73-year-old woman, theft, false imprisonment, criminal trespass, and failure to appear. A warrant reviewed by the AJC on Monday said the woman she allegedly harmed last November at the family's home in Fitzgerald was Deborah Parliament, her mother. Whoa. So now we learning some stuff about the mother. So this woman is messed up too. This boy didn't stand a chance. He got a messed up mother and a messed up father. And together they came and created up a messed up child. That's crazy. They said she assaulted her own mother. The warrant alleges that Gray taped her mother's hands and feet to a chair and prevented her from leaving the home. So it sounds to me like you was just holding your mother hostage. And for what reason? Charles Parliament spoke to the AJC from the steps of his family's South Georgia home, which sits in a pine-shaded neighborhood. The end of the family driveway bears a novelty street sign, God It Made Boulevard. Charles Parliament is known in the community as an accomplished pole vaulter who competed nationally. At age 40, he tried to make the 1984 U.S. Olympic team that competed in Los Angeles, but he did not make the team. He's known for having taught local students and young people the sport up for years. His family has been thrust into the national media spotlight since Wednesday's shooting. It's certainly been hard on the whole family, he said, adding that my faith is the only thing that keeps me from going off the deep end, and my faith doesn't make me any better than anybody else, but it will let me and my family survive. Parliament said he believes the environment his grandson grew up in is what caused him to lash out. Home environment affects everybody, and it affects children, and it affects families. We live in a society that doesn't teach respect and responsibility. We just don't, and I hate it. He told the AJC that he's been bombarded by reporters seeking interviews, and he's done talking to the press about the shooting. I really can't do this now, he said. I've done 20 of these interviews and really don't want to do any more. It's bad enough of what I'm going through, and it's bad for everybody. It's not just bad for my daughter. So that is a statement from what seems to be the only sane person in this family. Queen Mom, you said it's buffering. Try refreshing the page, because I don't see anybody else saying that it's buffering. Is it buffering on anybody else's end? Because I don't see anybody else saying that it's buffering. Okay. Yeah, try refreshing the page, Queen Mommy, because it's working good for everybody else. So there's that. So we got a lot out of this one. From the standpoint of the grandfather, we learned more about his Colt Gray's mother and the thugstress that she is. Let's just call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. Now let's get to this article right here. Look at this. Look at this. Mother of Apalachee High School shooter apologizes to victims' families in an open letter, to which I hope that none of the families accepted. The mother of the teenager accused of killing 4 people during last week's shooting at a Georgia high school has apologized to the victim's family in an open letter while insisting her son is, quote unquote, not a monster. The term monster must have different definitions compared to what we are accustomed to knowing what it is. No, your son is, in my opinion, a domestic terrorist. To the parents and families of those affected by the tragic events at Apalachee High School, I want to say that I'm so sorry from the bottom of my heart. Marcy Gray, the mother of 14-year-old Colt Gray, wrote in the letter what she provided first to CNN. Marcy, I got a question. Now knowing what you did to your mother, did you ever apologize to her for assaulting her and tying her up and basically holding her hostage? Because I find it very interesting that if you didn't even do that, it's funny you want to apologize on the behalf of your terrorist son. And you didn't do anything well directly. She goes on to say, if I could take the place of Mason and Christian, I would without a second thought. I won't hold my breath. Marcy Gray wrote, referring to the two 14-year-olds killed in the mass shooting. As a parent, I've always said that the loss of one of my children would be the only thing I wouldn't be able to come back from. I feel all of your pain and devastation. I grieve and cry with you. Gray added her heart breaks for the two teachers who gave their lives in the service of teaching and protecting our children. We are all in a living nightmare right now, and I will personally never forgive myself for what has happened, she wrote. My son Colt is not a monster. Yes, he is. He is my oldest. He is quiet, thoughtful, caring, funny, extremely intelligent, and he's also a murderer. Let's not leave that part out. She says, please pray for him. I'd rather not. And the rest of our family, I'd rather not. As I am praying for all of you every moment of every day. Are you? Zen G says, were his parents divorced? Yes, they actually were divorced. It says Colt Gray is charged with 4 counts, and it says the teen has been segregated from other youths while he is in custody, said Glenn Allen, a spokesperson for the Georgia Department of Juvenile Justice. Allen declined to comment when asked whether Colt Gray has received any visitors. Let's see. And that's pretty much the end of that. Like I said, look at who he was raised by. His mother ain't ish. His father isn't either. And looking at what he did, he's not either. So that generational curse didn't break. It didn't even put a dent in it. We got 2 more articles to go, y'all. And it seems like this one, they heavily now focusing on a mother, because look at this. Look at this. Teen Georgia school shooter Colt Gray's mom says she warned staff 30 minutes prior. So now looking at this, I know what direction they're headed in. She's trying now to me, it sounds like to me, that she's trying now to shift blame to the staff as if they knew what was probably going to happen. The mother of, hold on, y'all. Oh, great. I'm not paying for this. Daily News, I'm not paying for this, but I'm just going to go based off of what it says right here. She ain't taking no kind of accountability. It just says the mother of the Georgia teenager accused of killing 4 people at his high school says she warned school administrators before the shooting. Marcy Gray told relatives she had notified the school counselor about 30 minutes before her 14-year-old son, Colt Gray, allegedly fatally shot 2 students and 2 teachers at Apalachee High School, in the Washington Post reported. Looks like we ain't going to get our spill with the entirety of that article. But we got one more. I got one more thing to show y'all. One more thing. So y'all remember how they were trying to how that news article had put up a picture of the little black boy up there after they said that Colt Gray was the one who did the shooting, even though that we knew the little black boy wasn't Colt Gray? Well, check this out. Look at this right here. This is the last thing we're going to go over. So this was written up by a person named JLR Investigates. It says Mrs. Lisa Butler was Colt Gray's counselor at Apalachee High School. Students have been sending us emails saying she is the worst counselor, doesn't do her job, and some even blame her. Look at this crap. They are trying to put the blame on this black woman for why Colt Gray did what he did. And now allegedly there have been emails that have been going out saying she's bad and she's the worst counselor and that she doesn't even do her job. The grandparents of Colt Gray called Butler a week before the shooting. That's why I said I should save this for the end, because I believe that whatever was in that article that I couldn't finish reading, it was probably linked to this. It says the grandparents of Colt Gray called Butler a week before the shooting to warn her about his mental health. The mother of Colt Gray spoke with Butler Wednesday morning before the shooting, warning her of an extreme emergency regarding her son. And they said in this post, Apalachee High School counselor Mrs. Butler might be in some big trouble. She was warned by numerous people for weeks about Colt Gray and did nothing. Even warned on the morning before the shooting by Colt's mother, Marcy, who called the school and spoke with her. So yes, that article that I couldn't read, that's what this is coming from. But this dude right here tried to make it like it was this Lisa Butler, the school counselor. They tried to make it seem like it was her fault. No. But like we said, they had to try to insert a black person in there to take blame. And trust me when I tell y'all this went nowhere fast. Exactly, Leo. He said the FBI warned the police weeks before. That was your warning. This has nothing to do with her. She's just the counselor. See, they're trying to pivot blame from where it should be directed, which is the parents. His father, who bought him that gun as a Christmas gift, weeks after they already came and investigated some threats he made in Discord, and his mother, who just seems like a non-custodial parent anyway, who has a long, lengthy criminal history herself, dating back almost 2 decades. This has nothing, I mean absolutely nothing, to do with the counselor. Downbeat says some news YouTube video showed them. We already talked about that. We discussed that. I don't know when you came in, but we spoke about that a few articles ago. But yeah, this woman should not have even been brought up. So to this JLR investigates person, you gonna get one of these.
Listen. Fuck up. Get out.
Damn. It's a bunch of bull.
That's what you get, JLR investigates. Apparently, you are not a good investigator. And I bet you bought your blue check. Sure did. With 35,000. Yeah, you bought your blue check. That's crazy. And if I was her, he would be getting a call. Not from me, of course, though. No, from my attorney. For trying to defame me. But that's crazy. They try to put the blame on her for what his family did or did not do. That's exactly what I would do, SD Johnson. Get them for, as I'm talking about, all the way down to the lint balls in the pocket. Exactly, Queen. He was too far gone. What did they expect her to do? Turn into Joe Clark from Lean on Me and go to the house with a bat in her hand? But that's wild, y'all. That is absolutely insane. But anyway, y'all, we have made it to the end of the stream. I'm so glad. I told you it was going to be over an hour, and I knew I was going to be right. But I had to knock this out today, and I'm sure there's going to be some more stuff that's going to come out about this as time goes on. And if that's the case, then I'll do another live, but it won't be too soon. It won't be too soon. But shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to everybody that contributed. I know I didn't play the drops because I wanted to get through this as quickly as possible, but as thorough as possible at the same time. Shout out to everybody that's over there on Instagram as well. I had quite a few people that was over there. I'm glad that y'all came through over there as well. I'm gonna try to do some more streams where I'm multi-streaming between both platforms in the future. But shout out to everybody that came through. Shout out to the replay game. Shout out to the mods. Shout out to the members. Shout out to the people over there on Patreon. Shout out to all Discord, Instagram, X, all of that good stuff. There will not be a live tomorrow. There will not be a live tomorrow, but there will be a 12 p.m. It'll be at 1 o'clock. My bad. Tomorrow's video will be at 1 o'clock. So be sure to be tuned in for that. The next live will be on Friday. And with that being said, y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Be safe and be one.